Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone in Dubai is talking about today. Two big drug busts to take you through. One, 24 people arrested in a massive Sharjah drug bust, and also UK criminals arrested in a money laundering scam.
And a prominent CEO was fired over allegations of sexual harassment.
We're talking about the study that proves the Sharjah 4-day workweek is a big success for students.
And right after all of that, we're going to have Moroccan rapper Dizzy Dros in the studio telling us like it is. But first, let's talk about a dilemma a lot of people in Dubai face.
It is so... If you're in it, you can't be out of it. Does that make sense?
Obviously. I mean, it does not make any... But let's give them context.
Okay, fine, the context. Right, so many people have had the pleasure... It's not even in Dubai, whether or not you're in uni days, or you move here, you're getting cheaper accommodation, so you end up living with people you don't know.
Yeah.
And therefore, you have roommates who are not your friends and family, and you have very different lifestyles. Maybe you have different working hours. Maybe you have different habits in terms of your eating.
Yes.
And basically, it's a massive pain in your face if you don't get on with your roommate.
That is so true. And I feel like I was wrong when I said it's a Dubai problem. It's a universal problem.
It's a universal problem.
Yeah.
I think we've all been... Raise your hand if you've never had an annoying roommate. We are jealous of you.
Oh my God, those privileged people who have never had the experience of living with a roommate.
Well, I guess if you've never moved out and you're still living with your family, and then you're living with your mom and dad, and that could be amazing because we know how well sometimes your mom can treat you. I don't know. I think the grass is always greener, right? Because your mom isn't leaving dishes in the sink, probably.
No.
But she's going to say, hey, why were you out so late?
Naggy smaggies, yeah. It's like you have, I think you always have like both the sides. Like whether you're living alone or whether you're living with family, you have the good and bad that comes with everything.
So have you lived with roommates before?
I still do, yeah. So it's like, so I've had really bad experiences. It's become better for me. So do you want to do like what really triggers you with roommates?
Okay. Dirty dishes in the sink.
Okay, dirty dishes in the sink, 100% agree. Like just not cleaning up after yourself in common areas.
Hair in the shower. That's not yours.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. I'm not flushing the toilets. What? It could happen once in a while, yeah.
Loud noises at night.
Yes, 100%. Oh my God.
That could be anything. You don't know what it is. It's loud. It's not matching my 10 p.m. bedtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is so true. Bad body odors that take up the full house. Yeah.
Just like leaving their wet towels in places.
Yeah.
Like for something, I'm okay with my wet towels, but your wet towels, I just think there's something gross about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, all wet towels in general, I guess. Like leaving it around, just leaving your stuff around the house. Like, no, like, you should tidy up after yourself. What else? Like them eating your food, right?
That's never happened to me.
Never? That they've had like your
Oh, that's
snacks,
so rude because
or,
I'm
like,
so...
use your groceries.
If someone went into my fridge stock, that was like not a friend.
Oh my God. You know all about my first roommate, right? Like 2 years ago.
Oh,
and how we used to share groceries and she used to take all of mine. Yeah, it was just miserable. What else?
Just not being an equal player in terms of chores.
Yeah.
Like maybe you have a day, or maybe it's like the rubbish. The rubbish needs to be taken out. We're very blessed in Dubai that it's quite an easy chore because we have garbage chutes here. I never grew up with garbage chutes. But if someone's not doing their bit, and you're living with like a couple of people, that's very frustrating.
Yeah. Washing machine hogs.
Leaving their wet stuff in there.
Yeah.
We could actually, we could go on this for days.
Oh my God, people who wash their shoes in the washing machine are just like such wrong people.
I do that.
You wash your shoes in the washing machine?
If they get to a certain point in their life that a wash is required, a wash is required.
In the washing machine? But that spoils the machine.
Meg Sky High has jumped in with the last one that we should leave this on when AC temperature is down and it's freezing.
Yes.
Arguments over AC is the biggest Yes, make sky high. Exactly. We feel you. It happens in our office. It happens at home. And if you're friends and family, you can kind of get over it. But if it's a...
No, you can't get over it regardless
No,
of
but you can
where
have
or
the
who.
conversation. But I feel like you can't...
But
It's very hard to air out this type of stuff if you're not actually friends with them. It's trickier.
That is so true. AC is like the #1 fight factor, I feel.
Facts. Great to start this Thursday morning on such a high note. Let's bring you into our top story today. 24 people arrested in a massive Sharjah drugs bust, and a coinciding criminal story where UK criminals have been jailed. So one of the biggest stories, drug bust stories in UAE history. 120 kg of marijuana, 3 million drugs pills were seized, and 24 people accused and arrested in a major bust in Sharjah. The Sharjah police have overthrown the Black Bags gang in 2 operations in cooperation with police countrywide.
So the Anti-Narcotics Administration and Sharjah police carried out 2 operations in cooperation with the state police forces, and through which they managed to take down a gang of Arab and Asian nationality consisting of 24 accused. They found with 120 kilograms of marijuana and 3 million pills of narcotic captagon, and with a market value of more than 23.5 million dirhams. And they also had, like, it was a big drug bust news.
So that's one story. And now we have a coinciding further drugs bust news. The UK's NCA has dismantled a network of criminal cash couriers. So basically smuggling cash. They laundered money to the tune of £100 million by smuggling it out of the UK into Dubai. And now 11 of the couriers have been convicted following yesterday's guilty verdicts. This is a network, so it was over actually £104 million. How they did it? They did it in 83 separate trips between November 19 and October 2022, overseen by a ringleader who has also been jailed for more than 9 years.
And the NCA reported the couriers who were paid around £3,000 for each trip and would be booked on business class flights due to the extra luggage allowance, communicated on a WhatsApp group titled Sunshine and Lollipops. Cash is the lifeblood of organized crime groups, which they are going to reinvest into activities such as drug trafficking. Now, this fuels violence and insecurity around the world, which is why our investigation into other cash carriers continues. So there you have that news, and just know that if you are a user and you want to seek help, you can reach out to Dubai Police, and they are there to help you. If you come up front, they're there to just, take you through rehabilitation. So they have all these procedures and systems in place where you're on the right side if you approach them first.
Very true. And just in terms of the smuggling operation, this was a massive thing happening over the case. What they were doing was they had the suitcases, these couriers, they were getting 3,000 a pop, but actually what they were doing was this massive help for UK organised crime units. So the couriers would get the cash, they would take it to counting houses in the UK, where the money would be put into these suitcases and it would be sprayed with air conditioners or coffees so the smell would be masked. Then they were going on business class flights because they had the extra luggage allowance. Mm-hmm. And these people, I'm not, you have no idea what circumstance their life was in. They were carrying it into Dubai, and now it has all been foiled to the tune of £104 million. But the NCA, which is the UK's anti-narcotics unit, they have announced that they have all been convicted as of this week.
That is insane, like how elaborate these missions are getting. Like the ways, like the loopholes they find, the ways they try to work around it. And back in the days, they used to like send it with kids. Like, in airports, they just very recently, if you think about it, like in like our, the lifespan of airports, started screening kids. But before they did that, it was like, you would send it through unsuspecting kids in their backpacks, in their items that they were carrying inside teddy bears and toys and all of that. So it's just like every year you see it changing and them finding newer ways to smuggle drugs.
And you're so right, but coming into Dubai, I just could not. If I was carrying a container with 150 milliliters,
yeah,
I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, they're gonna take my.
I know. Honestly,
it's just not. And in terms of the anti-drug laws here,
yeah.
Now this is carrying cash, not drugs, actually, but it's still they are very on the ball in terms of airport security. So it'd just be a Very scary situation to find yourself in.
Very true. And like you said, this seeps into society. So it leads to violence, it leads to crime, it leads to so many things. So like, it's just, it's amazing knowing that Dubai police are always on the ball with these things. They're always just, chasing, tracking, monitoring these situations, to make sure like we're in the safest, like it's the safest society around us.
True that.
But we move on to our next story, which is a prominent CEO was fired over allegations of sexual harassment by a Dubai-based news anchor. Now, former NBC Universal Chief Executive Jeff Shell has been accused of sexual harassment and sex discrimination by a prominent CNBC anchor and international correspondent based in Dubai. So on Sunday, Comcast, the parent company of NBC Universal and CNBC, announced that Jeff Shell would be exiting his position after investigations into claims of sexual harassment and sex discrimination.
In a Securities and Exchange Commission document filed on Monday, the statement by Comcast read, following a complaint that Jeffrey Shell, CEO of NBC Universal, engaged in inappropriate conduct with a female employee, including allegations of sexual harassment, Comcast Corporation, the company, retained outside counsel to investigate the allegations. During the investigation, evidence was uncovered that corroborated the allegations, and as a consequence, on April 23, 2023, the company terminated Mr. Shell's employment with cause under his employment agreement effective immediately.
And Jeffrey Shell also put out a statement which read, I had an inappropriate relationship with a woman in the company, which I deeply regret. I'm truly sorry. I let my Comcast and NBC Universal colleagues down. Now, it can be confirmed that CNBC anchor who filed the complaint is based in Dubai. However, Lovin Dubai is withholding the identity of the anchor out of respect for her privacy.
The anchor's lawyer commented, given the circumstances, it is very disappointing that my client's name has been released and her privacy violated. The story was first reported by the entertainment news website Deadline, and following the allegations, it's great to see that they were acted on by the company. Exactly. Moving into the next story, this study proves the Sharjah 4-day workweek is a big success for students. So in case you've been living under a rock with little access to internet, you'll know that Sharjah students have a 4-day week along with government employees in Sharjah. And this is the news that students want to wake up to. It has been deemed a big success. The Sharjah Private Education Authority, SPEA, studied 31,000 families of students and 7,000 teachers from 127 schools to report the following. Drumroll, please.
So the reduction to a 4-day work week has seen the following benefits for students, which is an 88% increase in the quality time with family, 78% increase in social skills and interactions amongst others, and a 77% increase in academic achievements. I mean, there is no surprise there. No surprise there. Of course, when you just like have that balance in life, you just perform better. You perform better, you feel better, you think better. So you have all those things in places, and now Sharjah has just shown us that it's an extreme success. So hopefully it rolls out.
I would, however, love, do we have parents watching?
Do we have parents watching? I'm sure.
Do we have parents watching? I would love your thoughts. Would you rather your kids in a 4-day or 5-day school week?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need more family time? If you're working a 5-day week.
That's so true.
And also, like, there's school isn't just a hard academic slog. Let's be real.
Yeah.
School's great when you're a kid. There's movies, not in my day. They have games, they have snack times like twice a day. Mm-hmm. They have, educators looking after them and considering their well-being. As a parent, not a parent, by the way.
Not yet.
As a parent, our Instagram is, 1 second.
Ooh.
As a parent,
guys, Instagram. No.
As a parent.
Yeah. As a parent.
As a parent. Yes. As a parent, I would, as a working parent, for example, I can imagine that if you're paying big fees, you would probably appreciate the 5-day work week versus the 4-day work week.
No, now that you put it in their perspective, in the perspective of parents, I totally understand and see where you're coming from. And like for parents, like you're paying the full school fees, you would want it to be 5 days a week and not like 4 days, because they're working as well. You don't have house help most of the time, and you have like nanny services and all of those things. Like daycare, you don't know what to do with kids. But Dubai has this 4.5 day, which I think is still better, you know, like a half day on Fridays.
But better for who?
Sorry?
Better for who?
Better for, I think, families in general, like parents and kids, like 4.5 days instead of 4 days. Maybe it really depends on what each family unit want.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And I think it's very, and I think some family units would be delighted. A 4.5 day work week. It's like, okay, what can I do at the weekend? We can make a longer weekend out of it. We could potentially go off to Iraq. We could go to, you know, if you're in Sharjah, you go to Dubai. It's amazing. And I know plenty of teachers who. I know plenty of teachers who really appreciate it because, of course, and I know I've been there. I've been a teacher. It is a long week. You need to be, you know, sometimes like we might walk into work a little bit late.
Yeah.
You get your coffee and you have a chat. There's none of that in teaching. There's none of that. So for them, the 4.5 day work week is amazing, and for students, obviously, it's amazing. They get an extra 4.5 days. It's amazing. However,
yeah.
For parents who are working a 5 day week, I can imagine it's tricky.
Yeah, true. True. So, like you said, school. Now, aren't those the best days of your life?
Speaking of school, they are the best days of your life. And if you've been watching the show for any number of times, Simran and I are doing our best to learn Arabic one day, one word at a time. And then we moved from word to phrase because we felt that phrase was more beneficial. Shuhal Kharabit.
You're so good at this. I was really good in the beginning, but then somewhere along the line, you overtook me.
I never did.
You literally did. You did. Your Arabic has become so much better than mine. Like, I only know the basics that I learned in school, and that's it.
Well, can you remember one phrase that you learned from school that I would like to go through? By the way, at 8:55, we're going to be joined by Dizzy Dros. But before we get to that point, we're going to do a little recap of Arabic word of the day.
Oh, I'm searching school instead of Arabic. But yes. Keep watching and learn Arabic with us.
You can't remember any phrase from school. How long did you study it for? There's going to be so many people in Simran's boat, in the same boat as you, who also studied Arabic, who will not be able to remember a phrase, and they'll be like, shut up, Casey.
But yeah, I learned Arabic my whole school life, yet I know nothing except for like how to read.
But we had this, that's amazing that you can read, but we had the same in school, is that loads of people studied Irish the whole way, and it was mandatory from the year dot, like your three or 4 years up until 18.
Yeah.
And if you ask people now to speak an Irish phrase, a lot of people would struggle to, apart from the obvious ones. There's always the obvious, like we would have like, can I go to the bathroom and can I have a piece of cake? Like you'd remember those ones?
Can I have a piece of cake was a common one?
Well, like cockamillish is just an easy word to remember. Cockamillish is cake.
Cockamillish?
Yeah. But like, can I go to the bathroom please? You'd always remember that.
Damn, you guys really like complicated a very easy word. Cake. Cockamillish.
Sweet cake. That's how it describes to cockamillish. But we're not learning Irish here. We're learning Arabic.
Yes, either you are a language person or you're not, and I'm not a language person. I think you are, but let's get into it. Are we going to do a recap today, or are we going to learn something new?
I think we're going to do a quick recap because I think it's really important. Now, we want to thank Al Ramsa Institute for some of these phrases because we get them from their Instagram because they're so good, and the lady who does it.
Sponsored by Al Ramsa Institute.
It's actually not. But Shuhal Kharabit was the best phrase. It's simple, it's versatile, it's got a rhyme, and it means what is this nonsense? So if you're watching this show right now,
Shuhal Kharabit. Don't think that. Do not think that. Because
I also like Leish Zelt.
I don't know what any of these mean.
Why did you get upset?
Leish Zelt.
Leish Zelti.
Leish Zelti. And Shuhal Kharabit.
Shuhal Kharabit.
And that is Casey's favorite phrase. And it's just the biggest flex that she's never used it on me, by the way. Just saying. Yet.
It's been in here. It's in my indoor voice, not my outdoor voice. What is your favorite phrase?
That's so cute. Indoor versus outdoor voices. What is my favorite phrase? I don't know. Like, leish.
Leish.
Why?
Easy. I love it. Leish. Leish.
You know the one word which I picked up from Hala, and it just sounds so cool, like anjad.
Anjad, what is that?
Like seriously, like anjad.
I love it. Why have we not done? Because
I think we have.
Anjad is one of the ones that you'll always hear people be like
Anjad.
Anjad. But what's the inflection?
Like it's seriously in different tones, right? You can be like anjad, you know, like serious. I think so. I think so.
I'm assuming Alibaba's going to chime in if we're butchering it.
Yeah.
Anjad.
It's seriously.
No, angry.
Yeah.
Anjad.
So there are different ways of saying it, like like that sarcastic, like seriously, like anjad.
Anjad.
Yeah, then there's anjad, like anjad. This is serious, you know.
Like Anjad.
Yeah. But Hala was more of the anjad.
But you hear it's always like there's a couple of words that you'll always hear and you never know what they are.
Yeah. But now we know what anjad is.
Anjad, seriously. Okay, Anjad. Anjad.
Yalla nitla. Yalla nitla is good.
What was that again?
Let's go out.
Yalla.
Nitla.
Yalla nitla. Let's go out for a break, guys. The time has come. We're okay. I think we're good with the Moroccan word.
I think we're good.
Or Arabic word.
Yeah.
Why don't we test some of our Arabic and see if
Dizzy Dros. Okay.
Guys, very, very shortly at 8:55, we're going to be joined by Moroccan rapper Dizzy Dros. His tunes are insane, and we cannot wait to have him on the show. He's going to be with us right after this break. Welcome back to Lovin Dubai Show. Our guest today is an artist who uses his voice and lyrics to speak on causes dear to his heart. He is blowing up. Welcome to the show, Dizzy Dros. We are so excited to have you bright and early on this Thursday morning.
Thank you for having me.
Not at all.
I'm still on Moroccan clock, so it's fine.
Oh, is that so? Because you've been out and around Dubai?
Yeah, I only been here for 2 days, but it feels like 2 weeks already.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
It's a lot to do, and I've been eager to come here. It's my first time.
Oh,
So
welcome.
there's a lot to do. There's a lot of people to meet, a lot of big opportunities coming. So I don't think there's time to sleep for me right now. So
Speaking of not sleeping and big opportunities, we want to hear what you've been doing the last 2 days. And you were performing last night. Where were you performing? What was the atmosphere? What was the vibe? Did they recognize your music? Is everyone out coming to see you?
So yeah, we've been called up by the 1-0 Club, and it was my first time in this part of the world, basically. It was a great atmosphere. We've had, and I mean, I wouldn't call it an issue, but it was just wrong timing because of Ramadan. We couldn't do any promotion. So we waited until after Ramadan, and we had like only 2 days before the show to actually communicate and tell people to come. So many people were kind of upset after they saw footage of the show, and they were like, yeah, well, we didn't know. You should have told us before we would have came. So yeah, now it's obviously, we need to organize something else for those people who didn't come.
This is the thing. So it's your first time performing here.
Yes.
Was last night your first time performance in Dubai?
Yes. very
How
first time.
cool. Amazing.
Yeah.
And do you go to bed after? What's your vibe after a show?
I don't even remember what we did. I think we decided. I think we just
No
chilled.
after party scenes?
Yeah, but I'm. Do you know what? I only go to clubs when I perform. Like I'm not really a club guy, and after parties are usually in the hotel room, just with my guys, just speaking about how the show went and just planning the next moves and stuff.
Because Casey asked a very important question before the show. Like, all you artists, right, have this thing of coming on stage late. Like, you give us a time. You give us 9. Let's say 10. But you guys come in an hour late, an hour and a half. Why? Why is that a thing?
Any sentence that starts with "all you" ends very bad. Okay. That's something I personally have, and my managers right there, they struggle with me because I mean I take time to get prepared. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why is that. Like being an artist, like you always have to be fashionably late just so people give you a little bit more respect or hate. I don't know.
Sure not.
What is your preparation technique before getting on stage?
Do you know what? Just my outfit, basically. Like I don't have any special requests. Like sometimes they be asking me, "What would you like to eat before the show? Do you like any favorite drink? Do you want in the backstage?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm just here to do my job and leave, and then I can think about food later." I hit the gym though
Before a show?
performance, yeah.
So no like superstitions or anything, like you gotta wear your lucky charm or like rub something or no.
What?
No, like you know those lucky charms that they rub, like you know the stones, like the gemstones, birthstones that they sometimes rub before. It's like for good luck.
I don't know, man. I don't.
You don't
I
know?
don't believe in that.
Let's bring you back to where your beliefs come from. So let's go right back. Tell us, when did you get into music? When did you realize that you were talented and it was something that you actually wanted to devote your life to?
Oh, you know, that's a very tricky question because there's not like a moment in my life. You see, like before answering that question, like you need to understand how the music industry kind of goes in Morocco. It's not really that strong. I mean, it's obviously emerging right now. It's a lot better than 10 years ago when I started. Like I've released my first song in 2011. That's 12 years ago, and things were very blurry. Obviously, I did it because I love doing music. Like I started recording music since 2007. I was 17 years old, but I never really knew that I wanted to do it or take it as a job, like as a serious thing. I always had like some side hustle, some other way for like income for me to go through and go through life. But I think as people started supporting me on social media and also close friends, and they were like, "Yo, you got something special going on. You should take it seriously. You should do more. You should be more productive." And at some point, I just couldn't balance it anymore. Like I had to sacrifice like regular income, small but regular, for something that I didn't really had no guarantee with. But I guess it was a nice risk to take.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, right? Like,
Yeah, like I don't advise anyone to do the same thing unless like you need to really believe in yourself, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. Like hard work doesn't mean guaranteed result.
yeah.
I guess you just have to take your chances in life and assume whatever the outcome is.
Were you writing in school? Were you musically talented when you were in school?
I was a good student. Like I always had good grades. But I haven't studied music in school. That's not something we had actually.
Good grades.
Yeah. I think up until I don't know what was the equivalent of that, but maybe like 6 + 3. That's not like ninth grade. Up until ninth grade, I was always like the top of my class.
Wow.
And yeah, I guess I was just good at languages. For example, like I learned how to speak English like by myself just from watching movies and listening to music. But yeah, I kind of used those skills when it came to the music and the production because at the beginning I had to make my own music. I had to make my own beats because I didn't know many producers and they didn't know me either. So I had to go and learn the software and just play around and watch tutorials on video. Back then there wasn't even like tutorials like that on YouTube, but I just kind of had to find my own way to producing my stuff. But then when you release songs and people start knowing you, then they start reaching out and they send you beats and you start creating this network.
At that time, was there artists in the Moroccan scene that you could look up to, or are you kind of looking at international artists being like, those guys are cool?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm considered like intergenerational when it comes to Moroccan rap because there was a generation before me. Some people say like 2 generations. Because rap became popular in Morocco around 2005, 2006. So I came in like 2011, that's 5 years after that. So I'm considered like back then I was like the new wave. And then there was another big wave that happened in 2016, 2017. So yeah, like we always had people to look up to and also maybe learn from the mistakes they made, and I'm sure like the newer generation also learned from some of our mistakes. But somehow I've managed to adapt with the Moroccan rap sound, and just I think I'm still considered like relevant in the rap music.
That's incredible. Like the Moroccan scene is really blowing up. Like even with Nora Fatehi, her representing Morocco at the FIFA stage.
She's big, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like everything there is like blowing up. But rappers specific, like a lot of their music comes from a place of a lot of pain or like a message they want to send out. So for you, where does your music, where do your words, where do your thoughts come from?
Well, as you said, it's just a reflection of the whole life experience that you go through since you're a kid. I mean, it's very known that rap is always popular amongst the marginalized areas in big cities, and coming from Casablanca, which is the biggest city in Morocco in terms of population, and also like is where life is happening. I grew up in one of the most popular neighborhoods in Casa, and yeah, I just like when I write, like I don't have to overthink it. It's just stories that I've heard growing up, or stories that happened to me or to some of my friends or brothers, family. It's just like it's only creative in the artistic side of it, but the stories are real most of the time.
What advice would you give to artists who are kind of similarly trying to kind of grow their platform? Do you have any advice for kind of younger artists growing?
That's a difficult one. I'm not good at giving advices. I would just say, you know what? Just surround yourself by people who are not afraid to tell you no, that this is not good enough. Like I still have people in my team who are very frank with me when it comes to music, and they know I have like strong opinion about stuff, but they also like, yo, I don't think this is gonna work. Like maybe you should think about this, or maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you shouldn't say that. Maybe you should, and especially in the time of social media that we live in right now. Like when I released my first song, I was I was maybe 22 years old. That's considered kind of old right now in the music business because
Oh,
yeah, because normally you have kids who blow up when they're 16, 17. And when you're at that age and you start getting following from a lot of people, you kind of have a lot of energy to just say whatever you're thinking and you think that's powerful, and you just go on Instagram Live or on TikTok and maybe you say something that's gonna break your whole career. So if you surround yourself by people who are maybe older than you, wiser than you, that are able to tell you, yo, maybe you shouldn't say this or you shouldn't do that, because we have cases of people who really ruined their careers just because of 15-second story on Instagram.
yeah.
You know, like
That to the age of like getting cancelled.
exactly.
But what you brought up is so important, like using your voice for like a better good. So, do you see your music like you know, talking about political issues or talking about issues around the world with your music? Is that something you want to do more of?
Well, you know what? It hasn't always been this way, but I guess as you grow up, you just see life differently, and certain things start mattering to you. Maybe when you, as I said, maybe when you're in your 20s or even in your teenage years, maybe politics is not really interesting that much to you. Like you just want to have fun, you just want to party. But when you're in your 30s and you have a little kid, like you start seeing life different, and like certain topics start touching you and they rub you in a certain way. So you start having opinions about things, and that reflects. I mean, at least to me, it reflects on your music as well. Because I could pretty much choose not to talk about anything and just keep everyone happy and not make some people mad because I have a political opinion about certain stuff. I choose to get involved, and I try to use my music in the right way possible. You know, not to be harmful to anybody, but just to speak about certain stuff that are important to people. And yeah, I mean, people are kind of sick of looking at artists as a bunch of sellouts, that they don't care about the society. They're famous, they're rich, they're not really connected with what's happening in real life. So yeah, I just keep it balanced. I'm not saying I'm always engaged with social matter topics. Like I could sing about that, but I can also sing about partying. I can also sing about love, but I just try to keep it balanced.
Love that. More props to you.
Thank you.
Yes, and try to keep it balanced. So you've mentioned social media, you've mentioned that you might have a strong opinion versus maybe the people that you work with, and then obviously if you release music that people don't have an opinion, don't agree with you. So how do you deal with putting things out there, some things that is close to your heart, things that you feel strongly about, and then the differing opinions when you get back? Not just political, but also just like, you know, you're putting your hard work out to an audience, and how do you deal with the differing opinions that come back to you?
Exactly. I mean, when you choose that, I mean, it's not a choice, but when you put yourself in a place, or when you choose to follow an artistic career, you have to accept the fact that you're going to be judged no matter what you do. It's not going to be appealing to everyone. It's not like people do not agree about anything nowadays. So you gotta have, as we say, you gotta have a big heart when it comes to that. Like things shouldn't affect you personally, although it could get personal in the comment section. But you just need to train yourself, and not everyone is able to do it because it comes down to how you are naturally. But you definitely need to train yourself, because no matter what you do, when you're an artist, when you're a public figure, no matter what you say, people are going to have opinions about that. People will disagree with a certain stuff. And in order for you to go on, as my father always says, this is the tax you pay for being famous. You just have to live with it.
Wise words.
So you said something about doesn't affect you. So what does affect you? What are some of your pet peeves?
Okay. Do you know what? It does not affect me when it's directed towards me personally. But when it's when it goes above me or beyond me to someone else that's dear to me, like family, like if I read something about close family or even one of my friends, like someone who's not able to defend himself and he's only getting that because of me. So he's only getting that hate or that, he's being insulted or put in the spotlight because of me. Like I feel responsible for replying. And that's probably the only time I would grab my phone and put people back in their place.
Okay. That's your biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
When it affects your family and your near ones.
Yeah. It could get ugly.
Oh my God.
Has it gone ugly?
Yeah. There's a song called Mutanabi. People would know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Going like.
Oh no, nothing physical.
No violence, of course.
Oh, of course.
We don't endorse
yeah.
that.
Although I'm a big guy, like I can do that. But nah.
Look, you're here.
Meet me outside. How about that?
How long are you in Dubai for? Will you come back and have another concert for your audience who's looking forward to it? And tell us, like, what are your future plans that people can look forward to?
I hope very soon. I'm only staying for a couple more days. Leaving on Sunday. But we already getting calls to get booked for other shows in the next 2 months. I mean, it's high season right now for concerts, so I'm definitely coming back, inshallah. For now, I'm just trying to discover the city. I mean,
we can give you tips.
Shawarmas, falafels, chunky
you can have that
Oman
anywhere.
chips.
No, not really.
Oman chips?
Not the way Dubai does it.
Oman chips? I've never heard of that.
Oman chips wrap. You
Really?
gotta go to a cafeteria close by, wherever you go after
Just a grocery store.
No, not the Oman chips, like Oman chips wrap.
Oh, I never heard of it.
Oman chips wrap? Can you see?
Am I missing out?
Yes, you are. Oman chips wrap. You just gotta go and get an Oman chips wrap.
Good.
It's like Oman chips, and they put that in the parathas, and it's like a wrap. You have it in Morocco?
No,
Of course not. It's a Dubai
Is
thing.
it Oman, like Oman the country, or is just?
Yeah, Oman is the country, but I don't think it's from Oman. It's something they made in Dubai called Oman chips.
Okay.
I don't
Maybe it is from
know.
Oman. We don't know, but it's really good. Oman chips. It's Omani.
It's Omani. It's Omani chips,
Okay.
but they're a big
Omani.
thing. I think if you grew up in Dubai, they're like massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oman
You get
chips
yourself
wrap.
some Oman
Oman
chips wrap.
chips.
And we want to see your review
notes.
on your
Take
Instagram
notes.
story.
Manager's taking notes.
Very
already.
important. Very important.
You got to give your review on Instagram stories.
I will. I'll
Yeah?
tag you.
Yes.
I
You gotta
will tag you,
us.
and you know what? They better be nice,
It'll
because it
blow
could
your
get
mind.
ugly.
Oman chips. Any other recommendations?
He's going to take, if there's time out of his day, he's going to put it into his schedule. He needs to go to a
Yes.
cafeteria, get this Oman chips wrap. And
Yes.
Simran, if it sucks, it's not going to suck.
It's
But
gonna
you
be the
know
best thing
those
of your
flavors that you grow up with as a child? Like, what was your favorite snack growing up? And then you actually have it 20 years later and you're like, oh, it's a bit sweet, you know?
No.
What was your favorite snack growing up?
I don't know.
He looks like a Twinkies guy.
Mm.
Twinkies? Twinkies!
No, I didn't grow up
American.
on it.
We didn't have them.
We didn't have that in that part of the world I grew up. We just had the regular. I don't know. It's you know what? Maybe I don't know how to, like, to any Moroccan that's watching right
Yeah.
now, you would know what chocolate di rabaa is, which is basically just a piece of chocolate. I'm not even sure it's chocolate, but it's chocolate that costs like 4 cents, and that was the name of it, the 4 cents chocolate. So chocolate di rabaa riyal.
I think you found the name to your next song. Rap,
Yeah.
music,
Yeah, I think
track.
that would work.
Yeah.
That's cool. That sounds
Oh
cool.
my God, look at that.
Look at that. Musical genius.
You gotta try the Oman chips wrap.
I will.
Okay.
I promise you.
And then after the show.
Somebody told me something about Albanian food. He was like, "You should try Albanian
No,
food."
Oman chips wrap.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been done. It's confirmed. Menu for the next week. All right, Oman Chips is going to have it, guys. It's 9:16. We've run over. Dizzy Dros, that is all we have time for. But thank you so much for your time. We know that you're at 1 o'clock last night, and the people that got to be there, they loved it. We saw the videos; it looked insane. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks
Really
for the
appreciate it.
invite.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Guys, thank you so much. If you want to join Dizzy Dros, he's going to be at a cafeteria later trying Oman Chip Wrap. That is all we have time for. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
You know, Casey can.